Says Lil Peep passed away, and like, bro, I shed a tear, bro, because like that's the little homie, and like I was super into his music, and like I know he was about to take off, bro. He's like the first guy to tap into like, you know, trap music, but like make it rock and keep it himself, and it kind of felt like Nirvana slash, you know, like real, like right now, rock to me is like Booth. Like there's no person that has that real, you know, that gives you that feeling that rock used to give me, like, except I love 21 Pilots, like, that's, like, my favorite right now, but, like, he was going to be the one, I'm telling you, man, like, mixing that rock and that trap, and, like...
He did it perfectly.
He did it perfectly. He really tapped into a whole new vibe, and, like, I was loving the idea of me and him going on tour together and just hearing more of his music, and just the one conversation we had, just him as a person, I could tell he had that good spirit, but... Yeah.
When I was a young Peep, my father took me into the city to see a baseball game. He said, son, when you grow up, I'll leave you, and then you'll make a lot of money in like 2 years. Baby, I just wanna ball with you. I couldn't see the end was coming near the way I do. I've changed my name, shave my head, tell my friends that I'm dead, run away.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Now, if this picture doesn't sit well with you, I hope by the end of this video you will feel a lot more comfortable and be a lot more abrasive towards the release of the remix on April 26th. Okay, the first thing I want to say here is Peep had a tour planned with this guy, and they also were getting ready to collab right before the time that he perished untimely. So he should never be robbed of the opportunity to accomplish and achieve some of the goals that he was maintaining a portion of his focus on, as busy as he was towards the latter part of his life. This was a guy who was hopping on jets going to Europe, in a different city every night while he was in the US, all at the same time taking a few hours a day and recording stuff in studios. So Peep grinded like a well-oiled machine. The reason why you can go on Google right now, type in Lil Peep, hit search, and get punched in the face with 10,000 photographs is because of his work ethic, because he understood he had to maintain a certain level of creativity and he had to produce a lot of music. Peep was on top of his craft. I always did view Gas as him kind of being captured on tape at the self-checkout, because this is really a clear visual of Peep in his fucking bag. I'm not joking, guys. This is a perfect project. The first time I heard Gas, it really was like sticking my head in a fucking oven while it's on broil, but I didn't get life-threatening injuries. But I did get to stare at this track list, which is the face of fire. I mean, look at this. It's amazing. I just love When I Lie. For me, if you ever listen to that song, like, turn all the way up in your car, dude, it's like putting a fucking AK-47 in your mouth and pulling the trigger with your toe without painting the ceiling. This shit fucking bangs. It's amazing. It's incredible. I just love this song, especially the snares. It's almost like having Magneto on the track, so to speak, because there's so much attraction to these steel-like percussions. I just love this project, especially those like Chicago-inspired drill snares. Those drum kits that Fish Narc was using for Peep's vocal, it's just amazing. If there's ever a signature percussion for Peep, it was the stuff on this production palette. It was just amazing. So the track list, the melancholy mechanics of melody, the stellar songwriting structure, the full-rounded, amazing, awesome A1 ad-libs, it's just a perfect project. I always did feel like if John Lennon said, fuck the Beatles, I'm going to make trap music, Gas would have been his debut project, because this is a real piece of art from a real classic musician who understands the faculties and fundamentals of music making. I love Gas, and I also do think it's his baby. I feel like Peep really was nursing this project right until his death. That Zane Lowe Beats One interview is so good. I've listened to that so many times. It's such a great interview. It really does capture the focus of Peep. He was so determined to get that fucking project out there. He was so happy in those moments, man. He had Gas getting ready to come out, just damn near finished. He had fucking Part 2 in the bag. He was, hopping on radio talking about fucking Gas. It was just such a cool interview, man. And even the Rolling Stone article, please find a way to get that. Read it online. It's the coolest fucking column. All these columns that Peep has ever featured in, because he was in one other Rolling Stone, he's been in a few magazines. They're all good. They are all so fucking great. Every column that they've ever done on a Lil Peep article, there's so much cool stuff in there, guys. There really is. There's even Sarah Stennett interviews. You can find out a lot of cool stuff. A lot of the stuff I research is from those columns that Rob Cavallo does and Sarah Stennett does and Smokeasac. There's so many, so please research those. And while you're doing that, also pull up Berlin, Germany, When I Lie, Needle Live. It is the best fucking performance of that song, man. Peep's physical enthusiasm, his energy, his emotion, his cadence, his delivery. If he could ever wrap a bow around the song When I Lie and just hand it to a crowd, that would be that night, because that performance is a fucking gift. It really is a present. It's the best performance of that song. I just love it. You really get to see Peep like in his bag, man. He's even like emceeing his mannerisms. He's so into it. That European tour, man, that, like Jan said, that was the happiest he ever was. And what's really interesting about that is it was only enough people you could count on your hand. It was Peep, Jans, Bexey, and Rain, and that was it. And from what Jans has said on Twitter many of times, that was the happiest Peep ever was on the road, when it was just a small group of guys, his set list, and just fun times, and him being interacting with the fans, and staying in hotel rooms, and doing shrooms, and drinking wine, and being on private jets, and really no drama, no bullshit. A lot of that tour, he was even sober. So it was just, he said he was so happy on that tour, so it's really cool to think about. But most importantly, what's really cool about that tour is he was really excited about touching that stage and playing the songs off Gas. Now, of course, he previewed these songs much earlier, but the European tour is really where those songs began to take center stage and were mainstays on his set list. They have the greatest performances of those songs. I want to talk about the Makonnen album really quick. I definitely feel this album is going to go fucking platinum. Without a doubt, if you could ever take two Beatles and put them in the studio and have them make a hip-hop record, this is it, man. It's just two guys who really understand songwriting and delivery and just writing. A really good project, man. That song Twisted is amazing. The first time I hit play on that song, it fucking threw me across my living room. I'm not joking, guys. It was like someone fucking kicked me in the chin, and I woke up hanging from the ceiling fan and my glasses were broken. But I can tell you this much, it was a very satisfying experience. I love Twisted. Really cool song. The awesome thing about this Makonnen album, man, is even though Peep isn't here, I feel like just off the strength of his name and just a work ethic and what's already been previewed and plastered all over YouTube, I have a good feeling that this is going to go platinum, man. I really do. I think they're going to do one more video, don't quote me on that, and then they're going to release it. I think we're looking at the album in 3 weeks. Give or take. You guys are really excited that Fish Narc announced that Gas is going to be on streaming services, and there's also going to be a disc available. I told you guys that 4 months ago, so I don't know why you're so excited now. Can't give me no credit for first plug of that, but I told you guys that they were going to release that. But it is awesome that you guys kind of get it confirmed from a much better source who actually was hands-on with the product. But it's really cool, man. I do love the TY feature. I love it, man. It's just going to generate a lot more buzz. It's going to bring a lot more fruit to the basket. It's definitely going to generate a lot more income. And at the end of the day, it's going to just get more eyeballs on the music, man. That's what we need. Anything that brings more money to the estate and brings more fans to the base, it's just awesome for Peep's legacy, man. So you don't have to embrace it. You don't have to be smiling ear to ear. You don't have to be kind of showing up with a bottle of silver polish. We're not asking you to help us shine the release up. But, just try to support Pete, man, because this was something that he really wanted to do. He really wanted to work with TY. It's interesting that we didn't know much about this before. All the research I've did, all the nights I've spent on my couch prepping for a video, I've never seen TY and Peep's name conjoined together. But it's interesting. It's a true testament to what I've told you guys, that We're learning new things every day. So it's, like I said, it's so exciting right now, man. I love the future. If there's one guy that we know we can be confident in that's going to do Peep's legacy justice, it's T.Y. You know, like I said, man, he viewed him as a Kurt Cobain, and he thought he was one of the best musicians in the landscape. He actually did say that he felt Peep was the strongest musician as far as songwriting and melody and the complete original idea of putting rock and rap in a blender and hitting high and then just serving it to the masses. Really, man, it was a great compliment, and that's how I view Peep as well. He really was like taking half of Gucci Mane and taking half of Kurt and splicing them together musically. It's just a great combination, man, a good dynamic. That's why I love Pete, man. Not only was he just a musical stud, but he really did understand the mechanics of melody making, man. He really did. It just sucks that Pete didn't really get to take a nice sized bite out of any of these fruits because he really worked hard and definitely was a lot of labor involved. But you know what? He still had a hell of a life, and he definitely had some cool experiences while he was here. And if it's one thing for sure, he has a fan base who loves him very much, so he will continue to live on through us. But it's work like this, guys, that we gotta stand behind. You gotta have faith in the system sometimes. T.Y. is gonna bring that fire. I have no doubt in my mind, guys, he's gonna show up and show out. If it's one guy who's not gonna let us down, it's gonna be T.Y. I'm very interested to know why Post Malone didn't get a first crack at this, so it makes me wonder if they have something specifically planned with him already. But it's very interesting that he kind of didn't get first dibs. He does have a portrait of Peep on his arm, and he not only has he hung out with Peep, but he was a huge fan of his music, and they were friends. And they also had the same personal photographer, so it's very interesting. I wonder how Post feels about this. I wonder if he's already involved with something, like I said, or if he's just kind of on his tour bus right now reading the posts like, what the fuck, how come they didn't call me, what the hell? So it is very interesting. I also think the timing of the collaboration is interesting as well, because T.Y. just had a lot of legal trouble. So I'm not saying he's hurting for a bag and he needs a feature, but that's the first thing I thought of. I'm just being honest with you guys. But you know, it is the same time as the soundtrack as well, so it could just be a coincidence. But at the end of the day, man, T.Y. is the fucking man. He's got really good music. That song he did with Post is fucking fire, man. That shit is straight lava. I love that song. But yeah, man, it's definitely gonna, like I said, definitely gonna attach a pair of rocket boosters to the release of Gas. Either way, the soundtrack is still gonna generate buzz for the album to drop eventually, so it is cool, man. But I understand too the fans that don't support it, because at the end of the day, this thumbnail really is a billboard advertisement of changes made to a classic project. I can tell you this, man, if it's one thing that is guaranteed to be a sinker, is if they touch any originals and begin to tinker. We can't do that. Peep left the release of Gas for the label so easy for them to do. It takes zero effort. Literally, he even left you guys the cover art, so all you have to do is just release it. Literally, a monkey could do it. You could buy a suit, put it on a monkey, bring him to Sony, give him a cubicle, give him a laptop, teach him how to hit one button that says upload, done, Gas would be out. So we have to be on our P's and Q's. But at the end of the day, this is a really good idea, and I stand behind it. So if Peep wanted to work with this guy, but he passed away untimely, it's awesome that the label was able to facilitate that exchange and make that happen. It still is an accomplishment. And at the end of the day, man, it's a remix. Remixes have happened. The entire history of music, there's always been remixes in hip-hop. It's just a little bizarre that the original didn't come out first, but we still have our OG masters that we can reference. I mean, it leaked a long time ago. And at the end of the day, I do feel like celebrities, cult fans, even new listeners already know the originals. And if they didn't, they will now, because there's so much buzz around this remix that they're going to want to reference the OGs. So either way, it's cool, man. So try to get behind it, man. You know, you can either stand in the way or you can just get behind it. I don't know, but I guess you could either look at the glass half full or half empty, but either way, it does have the bitter taste of change. So I can understand that some fans view it a little controversial, but we don't want to cast, a preconceived judgment on something that's not even released yet. But I'm excited for it, and I'm really excited for the Makonnen project, man. So, like I said, guys, if there's ever a project that really is just like getting hit in the head with a sledgehammer while you're sleeping, it's definitely these ones. They definitely are going to have a profound impact, and they're going to take a lot of people by surprise. So I just can't wait to get them, and I can't wait to hear this, man. I think it's going to be smoke. So I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
boy, God fade your sin. God boy, quit, take me a picture. Take me a picture. Blue skies start turning gray when I tell her that I'm fine. Ash on the window pane, can I kiss you on your spine? I watch her walk away, but don't tell me she ain't mine. She ain't mine. She got this little blade and she cuts me when I lie. When I lie. When I lie. Cuts